Okay, so topic 3 is the treatment of prisoners. Now, you could be asked to describe how Catholics believe that prisoners should be treated. You could explain how Catholics and Jews believe that prisoners should be treated. It's quite a similar answer, all right? And then you could be asked to describe the role of a Catholic chaplain. And then you could also ask to, it was called the question, to explain how Catholic and Jews aim to support prisoners. Okay, so the first one, if we're looking at, right, describing how Catholics believe prisoners should be treated, it's actually similar for Jews and Catholics, all right? Some key sort of words here: justly, fairly, rehabilitated, with dignity and supported. Okay, those 5 key words. Now, the reason why they should be treated justly is that you've got to allow retribution to take place, and link that with the teaching of eye for an eye. Okay, so there's got to be that sort of element. They committed a crime and they get their punishment because of it. However, at the same time, that they should be treated fairly. Okay, Jesus taught the golden rule in life is treat others as you wish to be treated, so therefore their punishment should not be excessive. With regards to rehabilitation, Jesus teaches the importance of forgiveness. Okay, he teaches Peter that we should forgive not 7 times but 77 times, or 70 times 7, depending on the account you read. Now, as a result of that, we should provide rehabilitation for prisoners, so whether it be through chaplains, through counselling, etc. Okay, that is something that we should provide for prisoners. The next one is that they should be treated as, it's called, with dignity. We are all children of God, and therefore, despite the fact that there are certain crimes we've committed and we've been punished, we're still a human being and need to be treated as one. The next one is that we need to be supported. Okay, need to be supported, and this is really where we're bringing about the idea of the Catholic chaplains, about the fact that the Catholic Church provides for prisoners a chaplain who can be there to give religious specific support, but also can be a link with them and their families. All right, so they've got a variety of different roles. That's how they provide support for them. Now, when it comes to explaining how Catholics and Jews believe that prisoners should be treated, with a Catholic idea, make sure in your introduction you just speak about those 5 key things I mentioned, okay? And then just make sure you link them together in your paragraph, so you might want to put justly, fairly, and with dignity together, okay? And then have rehabilitation as your second paragraph, okay? When it comes to the Jewish view, it's pretty much exactly the same, okay? It's linking with those same 5 key words again, all right? Now, the only thing you need to make sure is that you've got a bit of a variety of teaching. So you might want to say justly, fairly, and dignity again together, okay? But when it comes to teaching, you could say something like they want this because punishment must allow retribution, and this is taught in the Tanakh that teaches an eye for an eye, and also hate evil, love good, maintain justice in the courts. Okay, so that's sort of the idea there. You can say about that we've all been made in the image and likeness of God, so therefore should be treated as a human being with dignity. So there's some teachings that you could use with that answer. With regards to rehabilitation, we're back to that same idea there of teshuvah. Okay, if someone is repentant and they deserve to be forgiven, and also that God pardoneth iniquity. There's 2 teachings there you can use about why prisoners should be rehabilitated. Now, you could be asked the question as well about the role of a prison chaplain, okay, a Catholic prison chaplain. Now, fortunately for you, all right, that a prison chaplain, do you know what they do? They work, W-O-R-K. Now, each one of those stands for part of their role. So the W stands for welfare and counselling for all in prison. All right, so that's one of the things that the chaplain will do. The reason why they do this, to provide this counselling, is to help rehabilitation take place, to help that person seek forgiveness, all right, to really turn their lives around. And again, you can link that to the same teaching of forgive 70 times 7 times. Now, the O stands for Organised Opportunities for Interfaith Dialog. Now, the reason why this one is a really important one is that you've got the fact that people of different faiths, okay, that sometimes that can cause issues between prisoners, but also there's the opportunity for them to get support from one another, okay? So as a result of that, if they bring them together through interfaith dialogue, it means that through that difficult time in prison, that it can help them to grow, to move forward, and to be supported by one another. The K stands for keeping in touch. Okay, now Jesus teaches in the parable of the goat and the sheep that was called the importance of visiting the prisoner who was lonely. Okay, now one of the things that a chaplain does is that they provide they keep in touch. they help them to be maybe a person they can just speak to. But also at the same time, there could be a link between the prisoner and their family. Because obviously, as you can understand, I mean, some criminals, their families are not going to feel exactly fantastic about what has happened, and there may have been a real breakdown in the relationships between them. Okay, well, a chaplain can act as a little bit of a go-between. Now, when you are asked to explain how Catholics and Jews aim to support prisoners, that in your introduction, okay, that this is where you just speak about the fact that what prison chaplains do. However, it's not just prison chaplains, okay? You can also mention about prison reformers. So if any Catholics or Jews feel that prisoners are being mistreated, then they can do something in campaign for reform. The other one is pray. Okay, that they can pray for, and this obviously links with Catholics and Jews, they can pray for prisoners to help them to improve, to get better, okay, and to feel that they can turn back to God or change their lives around, okay? So, when answering this, all right, I would make sure that you split the work between, the two different, what's called religions. So maybe you go for Catholics, that you have the welfare and counselling for all prisoners, and that you go organised opportunities for interfaith dialogue. And then for the Jewish answer, you would focus on they provide religious specific support and that they keep in touch. Okay, in your books, all right, that in the revision guide, that it says about providing religious specific support being the one answer. All right, and the reason why they do this, and link it to the idea of teshuva again. All right, so that someone can be repentant. Okay. And they give them specific ways in which they can seek forgiveness. All right, they can be repentant to God, whether that's through prayer, all right, through fasting. That's that kind of idea. The second one you could say about when it comes to Jews in your model answers, that it says organising opportunities for interfaith dialogue. Okay, and that's for the same reasons I spoke about before, about the fact that they can rely on one another, build relationships with each other, understand one another, helps their time in prison to be that little bit more straightforward.